it is great to be back. A wide-open microphone and a thundering big story. New season, new Prime Minister and, well, she can't make a speech, but more of that in a moment. I daundered over to the big concrete conference centre where the result was announced at lunchtime. The Tory MPs and hacks. Rarely have I seen so many well-dressed men looking quite so overexcited to see what I could pick up. And so what was it like? A corporate awards event for the logistics industry, or perhaps an annual prize giving at an academy for the more mature student. Bright lights, tinny, uplifting airport lounge, pop music, an unsettling number of people looking vaguely like Harry Enfield. The music was actually better outside, where the protesters, the usual protesters, the ones who hang around events at Westminster with the same ear-splitting dedication to nuisance that seagulls display around landfill sites, well, anyway, they were playing The Lunatics Are Taking Over the Asylum. And then, at last, after lots of thank yous and mutual congratulation, Sir Graham Brady, chairman of the 1922 committee and sort of the Bruce Forsyth of the Conservative Party, got to the result.
Rishi Sunak, 60,399. Liz Truss, 81,326. Therefore, I give notice that Liz Truss is elected as the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party.
Interesting, a decisive victory for Liz Truss, but not the overwhelming smasher the pollsters had predicted. 47% of the whole Tory electorate, below the 50% bar we're told Truss wants to impose on the Scots in any referendum before they get independence, or indeed the threshold for trade union members ministers would like to impose before strikes. Carp. Stop carping, Marr. Stop parping. She won fair and square under the rules. Tomorrow, no longer. In favour of abolishing the Queen, she'll go to Scotland, and the Queen will make her our next Prime Minister. No Premier in my lifetime has got the job with such an ugly, gruesome in-tray of interconnected nightmares, galloping inflation, the energy crisis, the war, the strikes. Now, I have my own views, as you may have noticed, but at this grave national moment, my instinct is to bend over backwards to be fair. It is in all of our interests that Liz Truss succeeds in capping energy bills and in reigniting our stuttering economy. She has strengths. She's a very hard worker. She won't oversee a bloated or corrupt Downing Street. Once she gets her teeth into something, she doesn't let go. Earlier on today, I was talking to a very old friend of hers, and I asked him to tell me one thing I didn't know about Liz Truss, but I should know. And he said he'd seen her go through some really difficult personal crises, and she never flinched. The worse it got, the stronger she was. Well, let's hope that's true. If she fails, she will simply be confirming the expectations of almost every commentator in the country. If she succeeds, if she makes a go of this new government, she'll go down as one of the great political geniuses of all time. Against her, she has a divided party, no personal mandate as Prime Minister in the wider country, and her own history of quite rigid ideological thinking. Nor is she a great communicator.
My friends, I know that we will deliver, we will deliver, and we will deliver. And we will deliver a great victory for the Conservative Party in 2024. Thank you.
Now, to be fair, that was a short acceptance speech. I'm sure she will get better. Two things in it which caught my attention. First, even though many in the audience wanted an early general election, she made it clear that won't happen until 2024. And then second, praising her old friend Boris Johnson, she said this.
Boris, you got Brexit done. You crushed Jeremy Corbyn. You rolled out the vaccine and you stood up to Vladimir Putin. You were admired from Kiev to Carlisle.
To Carlisle? That, of course, leaves out all of Scotland, which won't go down a bundle with the Tory and Unionist Party up there. But as I left, one senior Scottish Conservative laughed. He said, well, at least it's true. But the speech overall was, I have to say, pretty wooden. No grave assessment of the troubles we face as a country, no Boris-like call to arms. Speaking of Wooden, I have only had one face-to-face conversation of any length with her, and I have to tell you I felt like being an elderly tree being vigorously assaulted by a particularly unrelenting woodpecker. None of that really matters, I suppose. In the end, she's going to be judged by ordinary households trying to pay their bills, by businesses desperately trying to stay afloat, and international investors, the bond or gilt markets. They're not looking very sunny at the moment, but let's give her time. Let's give her space. We are about to start a really extraordinary political journey. New policies, old and unrelenting problems, with a different cabinet and a different approach. Every step of the way, every evening, I'm going to be here trying to bring you the best and sharpest analysis. I may bang on a bit, but rarely, I promise, quite as long as I have tonight. And you can give me your reactions to the new Prime Minister on marr@lbc.co.uk or text on 84850.